Welcome to the Tokenized Economy. Here is today's explainer on the issuer native model of tokenization. So, we've talked about how exchanges are integrating tokenization, but that really begs a bigger question, right? What happens when you push that technology all the way back to the very beginning, to the source of a security? Okay, let's get into it. This is what we call the issuer native model. And look, this is not about just slapping a new token layer on top of the old systems. Nope. This is about building the tokenization in from the very start, at the exact moment a security is issued. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about this.
And this isn't just some theory. Major regulators, like the SEC, are already paying close attention. And their focus is actually helping to draw some really crucial lines in the sand about how these systems can work.
And this right here, this is the most important distinction. In the issuer native model, the token isn't just a representation. It is the share. It's the real deal. In other models, a token is often just a claim on a share that's held by somebody else. And trust me, that one difference changes absolutely everything.
All right, so the theory sounds pretty cool, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look at a company that is already putting this model into practice. One of the best examples out there today comes from Galaxy. They've partnered up with a company called Superstate, which basically acts as a digital transfer agent to make this whole issuer native thing a reality for their own stock.
So here's the breakdown of how it works, and it's pretty straightforward. First, Galaxy teams up with Superstate. Together, they enable Galaxy's actual common stock to exist natively on a blockchain. Then, as those tokenized shares move between approved wallets, the ownership record gets updated right then and there. It's a direct on-chain ledger of who owns what.
And this is the point I really want to drive home. What they've created here are not some complex wrapped tokens or synthetic instruments. No, they are the exact same registered shares that exist in the traditional system. All that's changed is there's a new, way more efficient way of recording and transferring them. But what's really brilliant about this whole model is that it doesn't try to just throw out the old financial system. Instead, it's a hybrid. It's designed to blend the innovation of blockchain with the established, trusted structures that we've had for decades.
And you can see that hybrid nature right here. The issuer is still the central source of truth for the shareholder record. And all those other critical players, transfer agents, record-keeping systems, all the post-trade infrastructure, they all still have a major role to play across both the on-chain and off-chain worlds.
This quote just perfectly sums it all up. We're not talking about inventing entirely new kinds of assets. It's about taking the assets we already have and just using new technology to evolve how we record and transfer ownership. Think of it as a massive upgrade to the ledger.
So it's important to balance the potential with the current reality. The future promise is huge, right? We're talking more flexible ownership, near instant settlement, and brand new ways for people to participate. But for today, the reality is these are hybrid systems. The market infrastructure is still a work in progress, and on-chain records still have to tie back to off-chain identity and compliance rules. What's really clear, though, is that the issuers themselves are now stepping up and getting into the game. They are the ones directly experimenting with how their own equity is issued and held. And in doing so, they're not just innovating, they're actually redefining what it even means to own a share, all while building on the solid foundations of the system we already have. Make sure you subscribe for more short explainers on blockchain, tokenization, and financial markets. And please, share your questions or any topics you'd like us to cover in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.